Greetings and welcome back to Prosperous Universe. So before we get started, this game was provided for free by the developer, and we've got a little problem running right now. We have enough grains to support one more production of carbon, and we're going to be needing, we need 2 lots for the next batch in 18 hours. And also our population are not very satisfied. But before we get around to dealing with all of that, I want to relay out some of the UI. Now the reason being, I like this layout. This layout's really it's got all the information, but it's small on the videos. Some people have been reporting problems seeing it, so I've been zooming in and out the appropriate sections. But that's a lot of work. So I figure, what about we make different screens and we take the browser to 200% zoom? Just to give you an example, because this is a browser-based game, if we set this to 200% zoom, or thereabout, that's what the text would look like. I don't know about you, but it might be more readable. Maybe we go 150 or something like that. But we'll try that. So first thing we're going to do is make some new zones, some new panels. And we already have a few screens up here. We have, for example, the market, which I set up a while ago for me to just quickly look around. And I don't think we need to worry about these. We can leave these alone. We might even delete them, but we can reposition stuff. Like we got a production one right here that I set up. It has 2 big chats and the production screens. How about we get rid of the chats? We don't need them, right? There we go. If we take that and move the inventory over there, good. Right, so far so good. If we then zoom this just for convenience to say 150, if we then move these order books across, split that way, move the OVE one over here. Okay, that's good so far. If we put, what would be the best one? If we were to then move you, if we split you again and we move the drinking water to there, so we have the 3 requirements together, and then in there we drop the water. Okay, so we can close that, and that. So now we've got the inventory there, we've got the 3 requirements, we just need the carbon one. Okay, so if we just add another one in there. Now, I think, let's have a look at what's the command for that. COBX, okay. So if we put in here, COBX, C dot CI1, not CI1, not CL. What's your command? DWC, oh yeah, oh. Am I missing the actual letter out? Or did I just miss it? Okay. So, that doesn't figure out there. So, what we're going to do is we're going to really quickly grab you. CXOB. My mistake. CXOB. There we go. So, we have the carbon prices here. We have all the other things going just there. That's all going well. If we try to split these up to be about right, so they balance out. They're good there, so shrink you down. I would like to get a bit more position so they don't wrap as much, but I don't think we can do that when we have this layout. Now that's okay. We have the carbon prices here, which is our sale prices. That just tells us what the demand in the market is like. We don't need that one. We have our inventory here, which again we could shrink that down. We could break this down into, if we got rid of the carbon, which we don't need the carbon prices because we're selling it, so we don't need you there. So we could bring you down to that, introduce over here, let's say the one we need to buy the least often is the water, put you there, right, and then we can bring you out to there and bring you out to there, and that should facilitate our raw materials are all here. Bring that down to line up with that because I like it to be lined up. We got a production here. Good. And we have our carbon. Now that's at 150%. Now I'm going to design this around 150%, but let me know if you think we should go into 200, because 200 would look like that. Now I think it's a bit close, and we might have trouble fitting stuff in there, but I think 150 should do us sufficiently well over the 100, which is that. I can definitely see a benefit for it. So 150 we're going with as a target. So that's the production screen. So from here we can really see I've got 12 carbon, we've got 1 drinking water, and all that's looking good right now. We could bring in the people in here because that helps us with efficiencies, which would be this green. We could bring that in. Let's bring that in for a second, see if we can fit it anywhere. Production. Let's try and fit it in here, see if it will actually fit. Because what I care about in here isn't actually these numbers, it's that percentage bar, that satisfaction bar that's there. So that might be doable, but it might not. We might have to shrink that down. We can do that. I'm happy to put that there. I don't need any of you. I can always grab them if we need it from somewhere else. There we go. That should give us what we need there. And we pop that up if we need to look into that. Okay, that screen so far looks like it should be okay for what we need. We can always lower this bar down if we need to expand more of this area. But for now, I can leave that up, and we can always drag it as needed. I'll put half and half. Then I know I can drag if I need to. Okay, production screen done. What's up next on our screens? Let's go back to base. Reset to the zoom so I can see what I'm looking at. So we've got the commodity orders. So that's our selling screen. So we're going to want a selling screen. So that'll be selling and buying. So we're going to want roughly the same thing as before. So we're going to want another screen add. This one will be called your purchase order. Let's go with sales and purchase. There we go. Not allowed to be longer than 16 characters. Well, I don't know if I wouldn't count the characters. Let me have it. I can have an ampersand. Can I actually have an ampersand? I can have an ampersand. I wasn't sure if it would actually convert it into a character for thing. Okay. Let's go and grab the things I want from base. So I want the COX, I want that. I'm just going to quickly add them into sales purchasing, and then we'll go and realign stuff very quickly in a moment. So I want that. I will want the financial overview, yes. The fin, we're going to want that. So let's pop that alongside. Can you? That's what I wanted. I put fin in, right? You go over there. It connected to something else. It connected to fin BS. Well, that's BS. Right. So we got that. Then we're gonna want the. Don't need the notifications. Don't need the chats. Don't need the other stuff like that. This is gonna be sales and purchase. So I'm gonna want access to the inventory. So that's a given. Sales and purchase. Go away. Give me inventory there. I can open move this stuff around once we get set up. That's fine. We've got the inventory done. We don't need production. We don't need the carbon base prices. It's not relevant to us at that screen. I don't need the people screen. Okay, so that's all we need from there. So we can go back to our production screen, zoom back into 150. Good. And we can start taking these. So we need all of these because these are what we're going to be purchasing. So I need to see those on the market screen. The resources. You know, I don't need that screen. It's not really relevant to us overall. Get rid of it. So the production and sales and purchase go together. Right. So let's put these guys in. Let's go with same as before. If I could remove you, just temporarily, pop you in there and get rid of that. Right, so then we can do another one below there, and that can be our rations. So bear with me. That's going to go there, that's going to go like that. Okay, then we want to split you 3 times? 4 times. So we start with our rations there. Then we're going to want our drinking water and our overalls and our water, because they're the raw materials. But we're also going to need the carbon in there as well. That's that done, and that I'm happy with. Then I want to split you into two, and I want to move the financial. Yes, financials can go in there. And we can split that again and put the inventory in there, because the inventory doesn't need that much space overall. So we can take that down to there, because I just need to see those the most important one being that liquid assets, which is our cash available. We can take the inventory down then to about there, so we can see all of this. It just shouldn't wrap too much. I mean, I could bring it down to that, so they don't wrap, but quite frankly, I kind of like it being stacked like that. I don't know. You know what? Pop you down there for now. Get rid of that one entirely. Pop you down to there. Yes, I'm not going to want to shrink that too much more. Probably to about there, which means bringing you guys down. And you guys aren't separated out like I want you to. How did I split them out on the other screen? Was it 3? It was 3 and then 1. Right. So we're going to want to try and keep the same layout, 3 and 1, which means you can go away for a minute. You can go into there, and you can go away. Let's see. So that's fine there. We're going to want another one here for the carbon. Can you go off that side? Thank you. So we've got the carbon, we've got that, so we can shrink you down. I can, good. Right, so we're going to shrink you down even more to there. And I'm going to shrink you guys, well, even you out to there, so we can see these. Let's just drag those out so they don't look weird. There we go. We have our inventory, we have our carbon prices, and we have... Come on, line up. There we go. Our water. So to buy and sell, we can do it here. And we can place all the markets and boop, place the order and stuff. Good. We have our inventory so we can see what we have in stock. That is useful. So that's our production and our sales up and running. And we are good on that. So 4 there. 4 there. Good. Okay, I'm happy with that screen. Do we need anything else from this main menu in there? The chat logs are going to be useful, but you guys need to see the chat logs really, so I can leave those on my overview screen. I don't need the notifications. Again, you guys don't really need to see the notifications. I can put them up on the screen if you would like to see them. Don't need the ships. We've already got all these covered. Alright, I think we've done. We just need for you guys to see what's happening in this game. Those 2 screens, because this screen I very rarely look at. I can get an overview pretty well. The chat is just pretty much useless. I just set that up because it was fun to have. Let's get rid of that one. I keep the base one because that's my overview of everything in the entire universe ever. Okay. And the market again is just for me to quickly look at the market to find stuff out because that's useful. Alright. So now we've done that. It's taken 13 minutes, but we have our 2 screens of production and sales purchase, which are all you guys really are interested in. Let's zoom back to 150 and begin the actual what we need to do today. Alright, so first of all, off the bat, we have 12 carbon just sat right there in our inventory. Good, we need to sell that. But we're also got 1 drinking water, we need 4 per day. We're out of overalls and we're out of rations. You can see here our satisfaction is not full. If I look at population, you can see it's actually the Pioneer clothing that's hitting us. So I want to go out and buy a whole bunch of stuff and sell some stuff. So let's go and deal with that right now. Go to our sales and purchase. And you can see some transactions I've done off camera. So off camera we sold 4 units of carbon. We bought some Pioneer clothing. We bought some rations. We bought some drinking water. And we sold 8 units of carbon. So all that's been done. We have Pioneer clothing set up right here at a 250 price, and Pioneer clothing, which is over here in the clothing, is selling for literally 1 cent below the market maker price. That's just ridiculous. Can you stop doing that crap like that, please? Thank you. Anyway, that means we're gonna have to buy some because we are out of clothing, so we're now being forced to buy this person's product. I wish I could just say, you know, screw you, I don't want to buy yours, so I'll buy the market price for the extra cent and not give them any cash, because that's kind of what I feel like when I see them doing the penny below, because it just makes me go, Rrr. Anyway, so let's place the price for some overalls. Now, we want to keep several days worth in, and so let's do a quick jump to the Excel. Oh, Excel's zoomed in as well. I forgot about that. There's not. Okay, good. So, let's see. 4.5. I want to have. You know what? Give me. If we were in for 7 days worth of stock. We would need 28, and 3.5, so that'd be no. If we were to say 8 days worth of stock, that'd be straight 4. Okay, and I've got 1 drinking water in, so that we can buy those. If we bought those, it's gonna cost us 9 grand. That would be 8 days worth of supplies. I'm curious if we were to drop it down and make a bit more. But we should have money in stock. Okay, so we need 31 water, 32 rations, and 4 overalls. Well, we're in the overall screen right now. So if we say we want to buy 4 overalls at the price of 300 and buy, there we go. We now have 4 of those in stock, and it would have immediately taken 0.5 off for the one that they wanted, so we might have to keep an eye on that one a bit higher because of the because it would have taken one immediately. We bought 4, we got 3. We technically got 2.5 in stock, but it doesn't show a decimal here, which would be very nice if they did. Please show decimals, please. Next up, we want to buy 32 rations. Place the order. We're going to place an order for 32 rations, and we can get most of them at pretty low prices, so we're going to 110, please. No, not that many. Price of 110. Buy. There we go, we bought the rations. Right, so we bought 32 at 110, although if you actually look at the view, we bought them at lower prices, and I'll have to put those into my equation later on. But we'll say 110. Yeah, so it evens out to about 109. Okay, so that would be about 108, we'll say. There is a calculation, I'll do the calculation later on. They're being purchased, so that's in our stock now. And then finally we need to buy the drinking water, which we want 31 of. And the drinking water price is, well, we're going to have to buy at 120. Unfortunately, buy that. And there we go. So we should now be fully stocked, 32 rations, 32 drinking water, 3 pioneer clothing. That's our basic raw material for the people. The 19 water we have down here, that we are slowly slipping into, but we got loads of that earlier on in from a really good deal, so that's been going good. And now the carbohydrate grains, which I didn't think we'd need to buy. So I'm not going to put it on these menus because I don't think we should ever need to buy them. But right now, due to lack of cash, let's just delete these purchases, by the way. We don't need them in our log anymore. And I will keep this one here just to help convince someone to maybe lower their prices a little bit. Okay, so the carbohydrate grains, we do need to get some, but we don't have any supply right now on this screen. I'm not going to bring them in, so what we'll do is we'll bring in a new buffer, and I'm going to ask for CXOB, and it's going to be, so it's GRN on CI1, which is the planet name. Perfect. GRN1, GRN, and someone is selling them for 130, 13 of them. If we're going to need 4 per thing, let's go back to Excel really quickly. We need 4 per production run. We produce them every few days, so we want to make sure we've got a bit of a backlog. So I'm going to say we're going to have, let's see, if we said, well, the cost that we got, it's 8 per production run because we have 2 incinerators running. I think we can run 1 incinerator with the current farms with no problem. So if we say we just want to run 1 incinerator for, say, 10 days, that's a simple 40 units. But I don't think we can buy 40 units at a decent price here. Although our cost to make is 238, so anything below that. Yeah, okay, we can buy up 20. Oh, no, actually you have the 30. Let's buy the entire lot, shall we? Oops, I didn't mean to close that before. Bring it up again, please. OXB. OXO. I've lost it. It's CXOB GRN CI1. Hey. I'm going to place the order for basically everything that's in stock right now, which I believe is 30 units at a price of 200. We got 6 grand, boom. There we go. Did I just do a... Did I just... I did. I put a buy order in and there's nothing to buy. Okay, grains are going to be a problem for us. We have no way to get grains. I will keep that sales there though. Because we do need them. So if someone can bring them in, I will happily buy them. We got 3 grand in bank because it actually takes the money for that and puts it away in like an escrow account. So hopefully somebody will come along and supply us with those, because I noticed he was supplying them recently, but they must have been purchased up by somebody. Anyway, that's all of our stuff. Now these 4 are going to be a problem for us because in our production run, in new layout, could confuse me. In 13 hours, we're going to need orders, grains. 2 please. There we go. In 13 hours, we're going to need 8 units of carbon to start processing. The problem is that we won't have 8 units until tomorrow. So the 4 here will be taken. That unit will start processing. That unit will just sit there waiting until those grains are done. When they're done, it'll start processing. So that's something we have to keep an eye on. We can solve this problem by having an extra farm, or by bringing more people online. More people online would be useful. So we need to do that. So for that we need to go and buy some stuff. And the stuff we need to buy is, well, equipment. I'll set a screen up for that later on. But also in the meantime, we did pick up a wrong screen. Although they're happy now. Look, Pioneer Clothing, good. Okay. We did pick up a new expert. Resource extraction expert. Activate. Boom. They are now active. We have a 6.9. Can I remove one? Yeah, so a 3.6, and our thing is 13 hours. Activate them. It's 12 hours. So we gained 1 hour bonus by having those guys running there. So that's good for us. That also makes this situation worse, but I'd rather have these sat idle than just dragging out their production times. Because then if we can get the resources to run them, we can run them better, so that'll be good. I do need to get this extra Pioneer building, but it's so expensive. But that being said, we actually have to put the carbon on sale, have we? Ooh, we should go and put that carbon on sale. We have 12 carbon. If we put it up to... If we put that carbon for sale at $1 grand a piece, because right now the carbon's really expensive at 1,600. If we put the carbon for sale at $1 grand a piece, somebody will quite happily buy it all. So if we put all 12 units for sale at 1,000 a pop, that's 12 grand worth of income. This would bring us up to there. You know, we could actually increase the prices a little bit to 1,200. It would make a fair amount. So let's try that. And if we don't sell these by the text of the recording, I will drop this down to 1,000 and we'll try and sell that. The price has gone up and down a little bit, but now people are actually producing stuff, so I think we can actually put the prices around a little bit now. So sell that. 12 units at 1,200. So it puts us on the market now, and you see there we are. We're well below that person who's selling at 1,650. And we've got all the resources we need for a short-term run. I think we're well done today. We've got a lot done in a short space of time. It has been about a week and a bit since I did the last recording, so I've let some things build up and I've just done some maintenance work to keep things running. But I think we are pretty good now. Ignore that result. That's like the last week or so, and it's mostly our purchases today are in that list. Because annoyingly, it doesn't take our income. Because we apparently haven't got any income because it's in the last week. But if we were to look at our balance statement, you can see there over the last period, if we go to the bottom of the balance, widen that out, it'd be easier. Sure, let's do it that way around. There we go. And up to the top, please. Can I not bring it to the top? No. To the top and then bring it to the bottom. There we go. So you can see on this screen we've got all this information, and you can see here our total is not particularly good. Fixed capital, profit carried forward. Profit's not too bad, but it's mostly in stock and that kind of problem. We had 18 grand in cash. Now we've got 3 grand in cash, although some of that's in escrow at the moment. We can see our inventory costs have gone up because we've got more stock, which is good for us. And our base assets haven't changed that much, really, have they? we should see the bit at the bottom tells you the overall. Was that another between financial income statement and liquid assets? Liquid assets is just cash, and income statements, that's the one I was looking for. That's the one I was looking for. There we go. Thank you, delivery truck. No, your presence was appreciated. So 14,000 in material sales last period. Nothing this period, so I haven't done anything. I've been holding on to it for you guys to see, but we have spent well, about $4,000 worth in resources here and materials. So we've done that. So if we can actually sell that carbon for, you know, 14 grand, that'll put us in a fairly large profit here, and we'll hopefully be able to build our way to buy those materials to buy the extra buildings. But there we go. That is what we're at right now. So what I want to know from you guys is, do you like the new layout where we switch between screens? So we go between these two screens here. And is it easier to read rather than me zooming in and out? Because it does take a fair bit of time to edit that, but I'm happy to edit it if that's better. And let me know what you think of the overall layout. But until next time, comments in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.